Everyone, and welcome to another reading session. I hope you're all okay. Hope you're enjoying the sunshine we have today. And I hope you're all staying safe. Today, the book we're going to be reading is called The Case of the Missing Smile. If you haven't already had this sent to you, I'll put a link in the description below this video. And it'll take you to a Google Drive that has all of the books that, I think all of the books that we've been reading throughout the time when we've been doing these videos. So that should help. So this book is called The Case of the Missing Smile. It's not a particularly long book, but I just thought I'd do something a bit different because I'd noticed that I'd been focusing a lot on animal books. So this is the front cover of the book that I'll be going through today. So The Case of the Missing Smile. It's a bit of a kiddies book, so if kids want to look through this book, that's absolutely great. I'm sure you'll love it. So let's start reading. So we'll start on this page here. And what I'll do is I'll just do what I normally do, and that is read through the book, go through any difficult words after a few pages, and then ask you some questions at the end just to make sure you understood the story. Now this looks like a very interesting case, Detective Peterson said aloud, as she reviewed the huge stack of reports on her desk. I think I will handle this one myself. Next page. After several minutes of searching through the official Tooth Fairy records, she found what she was looking for, a folder with the name Sophia Sue Simmons. Okay, so I'll just stop there and I'll go through any words that might be a bit difficult to grasp or understand in the context. So, interesting means it captures her attention. So in this case it says, now this looks like a very interesting case. And so the case, also a case in this situation is like a situation. That a case in this context is like a situation. So something to be investigated, something to be looked at. And she is finding this case particularly interesting. We don't know what it is yet, but she's finding this one particularly interesting, which means it's captured her attention. She's thinking, oh, I want to know more about this. And this first character's name is Detective Peterson. And a detective is a person, which is usually a police officer, whose occupation is to investigate and solve crimes. So I said occupation there, that means job. So a detective is a person, police officer, that investigates and solves crime. And we'll see further on in the book what Detective Peterson is looking to solve. And then there's just one more on this page that I thought I'd go over just in case, and it was the word reviewed. So Detective Peterson said aloud as she reviewed the huge stack of reports on her desk. So reviewed means that Detective Peterson is assessing something with the intention of making changes if necessary. So she is going back over something, reading it through, looking at it, and if she sees that something isn't quite right, she is going to change it. So that's what it means. So she's reviewing the reports on her desk, and it would seem that there were quite a few, because there's a huge stack. So she's going to assess them all, see if everything's in order, see if everything's correct, and if it's not, she's going to make changes. That's what assess means. And we also read the second page, and I picked one word from this page and several. So this is probably a word that you'll come across quite a lot. So several is, it means an amount, and it means more than two, but it's not many. So it doesn't mean a specific number, it just means that there's more than two, but not many more. So you can say, in this case, after several minutes of searching through the official tooth fairy records, so that would probably be from maybe 3 to 10 minutes, maybe. I'm just guessing because there's no exact number for several. It just means more than two, but not that many more than two. I hope that makes sense, because it's kind of an important word to grasp, because it is a word that you'll probably come across quite a lot. I hope you understand that what I'm explaining. So it just means that because a couple is two, several is more than two, but it's not loads more than two. It's not 50. It's only between a certain amount, but it's not actually specified how much. So it's kind of flexible in how we can use the word several. So as long as it's more than two, but not excessively more than two, then you can use several. I hope that makes sense. So if we move on to the third page now, looks like this. Detective Peterson mumbled as she studied the file. Next page. As Detective Peterson read the report, she noted that Sophia Sue always smiled. From the time she got out of bed to the time she went back to bed, she smiled. In fact, Sophia Sue never seemed to stop smiling. Okay. So we'll just stop there and go through any words that we might find a bit difficult. So the word mumbled, that means that you say something really quietly and other people are going to find it really difficult to understand what you mean. What you're saying. So a mumble would be like this. I hope you can hear that. You probably can't hear what I'm saying, but you can hear something. It just means that you talk really quietly under your breath almost, and people that are trying to listen to you can't really understand what you're saying because you're talking quite quietly. So that's what mumbles means in this context. And then on the same page, in the same sentence, the word studied. So studied means that you devote time and attention to gaining knowledge of something. So studied, in this context, she's studying the file. So she is looking through the file to increase her knowledge of Sophia Sue, who we haven't met yet. So she is devoting her time, she's devoting her attention to looking through this particular file to find as much as she can on Sophia Sue. So that's what studied means, devoting time and attention to gaining knowledge of something. And then on the next page, even though it's quite a lengthy paragraph, I actually only found one word that might be difficult to grasp, and that was the word noted. So if you note something, you notice or pay particular attention to something. So sorry, my leg's going off. So if you note, so in this case, Detective Peterson has noted something, so she has noticed something. She's paid particular attention to something, and in this case, she has noted that Sophia Sue never stops smiling. So she has paid attention to the fact that Sophia Sue doesn't stop smiling. Okay, then we'll move on to the next page. Excuse me. Then 2 days ago, Sophia Sue stopped smiling. Why? Detective Peterson wondered. I must find out why and get Sophia Sue's smile back, she said to herself. Next page. She searched through the file but couldn't find anything that could have caused Sophia Sue to stop smiling all of a sudden. So, the only word that I could find in these 2 pages was the word wondered, and that is from the first page that we've just read. So, wondered. This means that you feel curious about something, you desire to know something, you really want to know something. So in this case, Detective Peterson is wondering why Sophia Sue has stopped smiling. So she is really curious why Sophia Sue has stopped smiling. She has a great desire, a great need, a great want to know why Sophia Sue has stopped smiling. And then on the next page, I couldn't find anything that you might find particularly difficult to understand. I think that's relatively straightforward. Yeah. So I'll start on this page again. Was she happy at home? The smilometer indicated yes. Was she happy at school? The smilometer indicated yes. So the smilometer, okay, so this isn't a real thing. It isn't a thing that exists. It's just made up for this book. So a smileometer, it's a made up meter or scale to indicate how happy a person is, in this case Sophia Sue. And so Detective Peterson here is using this smileometer to work out how happy Sophia Sue is in different aspects of her life. But like I said, it's not a real thing. It's only for this book, so I just thought I'd explain it in this context just so you understand what's going on, because it's not a real thing. It's just for this book. So she's happy at home, she's happy at school, but the word also that I found is the word indicated, and it's on both pages. So indicated means point out or show. So the smilometer is showing that Sophia Sue is happy at home, she's happy at school. So that is what the smilometer is indicating or showing or pointing to. That is what the this made up scale is telling Detective Peterson. So then move on to this page. Was she happy with her friends? The smileometer indicated yes. Everything that Detective Peterson found indicated that Sophia Sue was happy and that she should be smiling. So, oh sorry, I've lost my page. There. So again, we have this smilometer word, and I've explained that, and I've explained the word indicated. So I don't think there's anything else on those 2 pages that you might find particularly difficult. I think the rest are quite straightforward. So we'll just move straight on to this page. The detective checked with the dentist and everything was fine. The detective checked with Tooth Fairy Central. All of Sophia Sue's baby teeth had fallen out, being collected as scheduled, and replaced with new, extremely pretty permanent teeth. Okay, so on this first page, I found the word dentist. And just in case if you don't know what a dentist is, so this is the person you go to if you're having problems with your teeth or if you want to check up on your teeth. So they are qualified to check your teeth, they're qualified to treat your teeth, pull out your teeth if necessary, put fillings in, that kind of thing. So that is what a dentist is, and he is this person in the picture. That's what a dentist is. So he fixes your teeth if something is wrong with them, or the gums. If there's something wrong with the teeth or gums, he'll fix them. But Detective Peterson has gone to the dentist, and the dentist has said that everything to do with Sophia Sue's teeth are fine. And then here, okay, so the next page about Tooth Fairy Central. This is a bit tricky. Okay, so right, so a tooth fairy is a little fairy that, well, I'm just assuming, I don't know their sizes. So it's a fairy that comes and takes children's teeth when they fall out. So children's baby teeth naturally fall out, and then they get another set. So when a child loses a tooth, they put this tooth under their pillow, and then the tooth fairy will come and get the tooth, and often leave something behind in exchange for the tooth. So they might leave a coin or something like that. So that's what that means. That's what a tooth fairy is. And Tooth Fairy Central in this case, I think this just means where all the tooth fairy are, where all the tooth fairy live, where all the tooth fairies live. Because I think that's what it means. I think it just means where all of the tooth fairy are, or it could mean the person in charge of all the tooth fairies. It's not really made particularly clear, but I think it's either one of those two things. I think that's what it means. Now we move on to the next page. Oh wait, no, sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. The word scheduled I found. So the word scheduled, in this case, it means had been collected or scheduled. So this is a plan for carrying out a process or procedure, and it includes times and events. So in this case, the tooth fairies would have a schedule for when they would pick up each child's tooth. They would have they would have the time, and that's what a schedule is. It indicates what is happening when. And in this case, the tooth fairies have picked up Sophia Sue's teeth on time, as they should have. Everything went well. So if something is on schedule, it's on time. And then at the bottom line here, we have the word extremely. So that means very. That just means very. So, or really. So they've replaced Sophia Sue's teeth with extremely pretty permanent teeth. So extremely is means really. So very pretty, really pretty. And then there were quite a few words on this page that are tricky. The last one that I found is permanent, the word permanent. So this means that it's lasting, it remains unchanged, it lasts forever, kind of thing. So permanent teeth, that means that the teeth aren't going to fall out again like their baby teeth did. It means that they're going to stay there for as long as you need them to, as long as you look after them. So if you don't look after your teeth, they're obviously not going to stay in your mouth forever and ever and ever, because you're not looking after them. But if you brush them twice a day, if you floss, if you use mouthwash, if you don't eat sugary foods, then these teeth are going to stay there forever. And that's what permanent means. So unchanged lasts forever. But there are obviously, with teeth, certain conditions that come with that. Okay, now I move on to this page. Detective Peterson checked everything, but she couldn't find anything that could cause Sophia Sue to stop smiling. There was only one choice left. Detective Peterson had to visit Sophia Sue and see what she could do. So I didn't see any difficult words in those two pages, so I think I'll just move on to this page. That night, Detective Peterson flew down and visited Sophia Sue. Making sure that she didn't wake Sophia Sue, she sprinkled magical tooth fairy sand into the air. Okay, so I didn't find any particularly difficult words on the first page there, but on the second page I found the word sprinkled. So this means to cover something with small drops or particles of a substance. In this case, it is the tooth fairy sand, the magical tooth fairy sand. So Detective Peterson was very cautious. She was very worried that she might wake Sophia Sue, so she sprinkled this magical fairy sand on her just to make sure she didn't wake up. And sprinkled means it is kind of this motion. So if you have like some salt or you have some sand or something that's has very, very, very small bits, very small particles, and you do that, that's sprinkling. And that's what she did. That's what Detective Peterson did with this magical tooth fairy sand. So she sprinkled it on Sophia Sue in the air just to make sure she stayed asleep. Now we're on to this page. Sophia Sue, Detective Peterson whispered. What happened to your beautiful smile? You look so sad. I lost all my baby teeth, she whispered. Now the tooth fairy doesn't have any reason to visit me. Oh, sorry, I read ahead. I got a bit excited there. So, I don't think there are any words on these two pages either that are particularly difficult. I'll just look again. No, I think everything on them two pages is quite straightforward. So I'll move on to this page. Oh, I understand, Detective Peterson whispered between smiling lips. The tooth fairy will always be in your heart, so you can wipe that silly frown off your pretty face. As Detective Peterson flew away from Sophia Sue's bedside, she saw the smile return, bigger and brighter than ever before. And there's only one word that I picked out from these two pages, and it was frown. So a frown is a facial expression that indicates disapproval, displeasure, or in this case with Sophia Sue, it's sadness. So a frown's kind of like this. So you've got the furrowing of the brow, you've got the downturned mouth, like that's a frown. So it indicates disapproval, displeasure, sadness, something. It indicates negative emotions. And that's the facial expression that Sophia Sue has been wearing quite a lot because of the sadness she's been carrying about not being able to be visited by the tooth fairy anymore. So that is what a frown is. And we have finished the book. we finished the book. So this is a shorter book than I'd normally read, just so it's just to kind of change things up a bit, just so you're not reading the same kind of book all the time. Just to vary things for all the different people that might be watching these videos. But as usual, I do have some questions to test your knowledge of the story. So I'll still have them, don't worry. And the first question I have is, which 3 things did Detective Peterson check with the smileometer for reasons that Sophia Sue might have lost her smile? So, which 3 things did Detective Peterson use the smileometer to check for? That might be an easier way to ask the question. I'll give you a couple of seconds to look for this, for these answers. So there are 3. There are 3 things that Detective Peterson used the smileometer to look for reasons that Sophia Sue was sad. So if you go to the part where you can see the smileometer, that might help. I'll give you a couple of seconds to look through this. Not long now, I'll give you a bit longer since this is a 3-parter. Okay then. So which 3 things did Detective Peterson check using the smileometer for reasons that Sophia Sue might be sad? The first, right, so if you remember I said about the smileometer being this made up thing for this story that is used by the Detective Peterson to see how happy someone is. And in this case, she used the smileometer to check to see how happy Sophia was at home, to see how happy Sophia was at school, and to see how happy Sophia was with friends. So I'll show you. There is the happy at home one. There is the happy at school one. And there is the happy with friends. So 3. Home, school, and friends. Well done if you got that. That was a 3-part question. Well done. Okay, so quite an easy question, but the question's easy, but the answer might be a bit tricky to get. Why was Sophia Sue sad? Why was Sophia Sue sad? So the answer to this is quite near the end. So if you want to flick through story until you find the bit at the end. It's not right at the end, but it's near the end. So I'll give you a bit of time to find this, because like I said, you might need quite a bit of finding. Why was Sophia Sue sad? Bit longer. Okay, so Sophia Sue was sad because she lost all of her baby teeth. So the tooth fairies had no reason to visit her anymore. Oh, that's what she thought, yeah. So Sophia Sue was really sad because she'd lost all of her baby teeth. So the tooth fairy had no reason to visit her anymore. And if you remember, I told you that the tooth fairy comes and visits children when they have lost their teeth, when they've lost their baby teeth, and they put their teeth underneath their pillow, and the tooth fairy comes, takes that tooth and puts something under the pillow in exchange. So Sophia Sue obviously looks forward to her visits from the Tooth Fairy, even though she'll probably be asleep when the Tooth Fairy visits, but she really likes the idea of the Tooth Fairy coming to visit her. So she's really upset that because she's lost all of her baby teeth, the Tooth Fairy won't come and visit her anymore because she won't have any reason to. So that is the reason Sophia Sue is sad. And then I've got one more question to ask, see if you can get this one. What did Detective Peterson do or say to make Sophia Sue smile again? What did Detective Peterson do or say to make Sophia Sue smile again? It's not much further on from the question that I've just asked, so you won't need to look very hard to find this answer. So I won't give you too much longer to find that, just because it's quite close to the other answer. Okay, so what did Detective Peterson do or say to make Sophia Sue smile again? And the answer is, so it's on this page. Detective Peterson told Sophia Sue that the Tooth Fairy will always be in her heart. So even though the Tooth Fairy won't come and visit her to pick up teeth anymore, the Tooth Fairy will always be in Sophia's heart. And that just means that they'll always be with her in one way or another, even though they're not there physically, which is really nice. So Detective Peterson told Sophia Sue that the Tooth Fairies will always be in her heart, and that made Sophia Sue smile again. So this is quite a cheerful book. It's nice, isn't it? So that is the end of the questions. That is the end of the book, and that means that's the end of today's session. They fly by, don't they? So I'll see you again in 2 weeks' time, because Tess will be taking next week's session. I hope you are all doing well. I hope you're all staying safe. I hope you are all enjoying these sessions that we make for you. Like I say, if you haven't been able to be emailed the book or sent the book on WhatsApp or something, or anything like that, it's probably on the Facebook page, and it will probably also be and it will definitely be in the link that I put in the description, just so you can access all the books that way. So thank you all for watching. It means a lot. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you all again next time. Bye.